ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादम् शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः समस्तजनकल्याण निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः. Hari Om. We are studying Brahma Sutra Shankara Bhashya, Prathama Adhyaya. The Adhikaranam that we are going to study today is called Vakyanvaya Adhikaranam, Vakya Anvaya Adhikaranam. As stated earlier, Brahma Sutra is essentially a scripture that puts the sadhaka into a much higher plane and with a phenomenal speed towards self-realization. The very purpose of Brahma Sutra is Akhanda Chintana, and at the same time, the beginning of Nididhyasana. What we are doing right now is Shravanam, but this Shravanam is nothing else but getting the inputs inside so that the Vichara Andolanam, invigoration of thought process, is an essential expected outcome of the Brahma Sutra study. And the Chintanam, the Mananam that we do, is not of an ordinary nature. In fact, neither the Shravanam nor the Mananam, and of course the Nididhyasanam, all the three are of a very high degree in study of Brahma Sutra. The reason why Brahma Sutra has been given this high pedestal is because it is the final knock on the door for salvation. The one who has seen the world, experienced the miseries and pain of multiple births, because of his sheer punyai of the last few births, the meritorious deeds done by us in the past, making us eligible for the ascendancy of Sattva Guna in us, putting us in apropos the place, situation, time, so that the ears can do the Shravanam, which shall definitely lead to Mananam, and then leading to Nididhyasanam, in order to achieve the goal, which is crystal clear, mentioned in highest of the scriptures called Veda, that is a Jiva Brahma Atma Aikya. Brahma Atmaikya, Jiva and Brahma are one and the same. Of course, we have heard this time and again while studying all the scriptures. Jivo Brahma na paraha. But we have a habit of taking these statements on the face value and not go into the depth of it. The very purpose of today's Adhikaranam is to precisely know what is the position of Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. But this particular Rucha, which has been taken into consideration for the sake of this particular Adhikaranam, comes from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The background story of this, and as we all know, that it is a Samvadatmaka, based of the truths in Vedas and Upanishads or anywhere else, including Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, everywhere you will find there is somebody who is saying something, somebody who is listening something. Samvadatmaka. In this particular aspect, also in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Mahan Rishi Yajnavalkya, after doing all the worldly duties, decides to take sannyasa. And for sannyasa arohanam, he completes all his kartavya, iti kartavyata, and calls both his spouses, the wives, thinking that he will divide the wealth between the two wives and abdicate everything and go into sannyasasrama. And that is the reason Maitreyi and Katyayani both have been called by Yajnavalkya and have been told that, look, this is my wealth, these are the details, half will go to you, half will go to you, and that is where he wanted to end the conversation. However, this was not a land where such conversation can end here, being the Punya Bharat Bhumi, where the women of those times were equally competent in terms of Vedic studies. One of the wife, Maitreyi, asked a question to Yajnavalkya. Yantu mam yantu ma iyam bhagoho sarva pruthini vittena purna syat. Syam tvam aham tena shruta aho neti. Bhago, hey Bhagavan. Those days, husband was called as Bhagavan if he was enlightened. So the Maitreyi asked Bhagavan, if you think by taking this wealth, or even if I have the wealth that will cover the entire earth, will that give me the moksha or amrutatva that I want? And Yajnavalkya gave $1 million answer. The answer was, Amrutatvasya tu na asha asti vittena saha amrutatvasya asha natu asti. It is not possible to take or get immortality, moksha, with the help of vitta. And then comes the reply of Maitri. She says, Yena aham na amrutam syam, kim aham tena kuryam, yadeya bhagwan veda tadeva me bruhi. My dear Lord, if the wealth is not going to give me the moksha, then tell me that which is going to give me the moksha. And in response to that, Yajnavalkya says, Pati, Patni, everybody is dear in this world. For the Pati, the Patni is dear. For the Patni, Pati is dear. But Yajnavalkya says, Nava are patyuhu kamaya pati priyo bhavati. For a man, wife, or for a wife, a man is very dear, not because They are the abode of Sukha, but because they are Atma Swarupa. When you say, I love my wife, or the wife says, I love my husband, it is not for the sake of the wife or the husband, it is for the sake of Atma Prema. And then, in the same breath, one very important rucha came from the mouth of Yadnivalkya Rishi Maharaj, which says, Atma va are društavyaha srotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitvaha nididhyasitvaha. This particular rucha which says that, array, if you want to learn or realize the Atman, you must do Shravanam, Mananam, Mantavyo, and Nididhyasanam of the Atma. This became a $1 million rucha, oft repeated, quite oftenly used by everybody. And the meaning taken by of this particular rucha is, yes, you have to do Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam to get Atma Sakshatkar. But this simpler understanding does not take us to the depth of what the Rishi is trying to say. And that is precisely the reason why this particular Adhikaranam is coming into the place. The question here is, since pati liking the patni liking the pati, etc., has been referred, is that the Rucha is trying to say or talk about the Jiva or the Paramatma? Because liking somebody, pati, patni, etc., these are all called bhoktruttvata, bhog. These are all bhog, liking somebody, having affection for somebody. This is bhog, and bhog is a vikar. So bhoktruttvata is not for the Paramatma. Why? Because Paramatma or Parabrahma is nishkriya. There is no liking, there is no disliking. In fact, no attribute of any kind exists in the nature of Brahma. We all know that. Nirguna, we call it. Nirguna, there is no guna at all. If there is no guna and the discussion is happening about pati patni liking disliking, that means this discussion is not for Parabrahma, the discussion is for Jiva. And if that is so, then the sadhana that is prescribed here called Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam is pertaining to Jiva, not Parabrahma. That is the Purva Paksha, that is the Samshaya for which this particular Rucha has come. Now, this is the front facade of the Rucha or of the Adhikaranam. Let us try to get into the depth of what the Adhikaranam is all about. We have never ever asked a question to ourselves, which we should ask is, I am a Jiva. A Jiva is defined as something where there is an Upadhi. Upadhi means matter, vesture. So Shariram is an Upadhi. In this Shariram, there exists some consciousness. So combination of consciousness and matter together is called Upadhikruta Jiva. Up to this point, there should be no difficulty in understanding. If one wants to get further into little depth of what this particular Jiva is, then we come to a little different understanding. The understanding is Shariram, even though it is called a Jiva Shariram, it's mostly matter, Jada, the Karmendriyas, the Jnanendriyas. The most superior aspect or the central aspect or the coordinating aspect or the intelligent aspect of the entire Sharira or the Jiva is Buddhi. There should be no doubt about it. If a buddhi or the mind itself or the antakaran itself is not there, rest of the paraphernalia is dead. It has got no meaning by itself. A person who is into murcha sthiti or nidra sthiti, everything, all the apparatus is there. It is of absolute no use. It means the essence of bodily embodiment. The essence of embodiment is essentially the presence of antakarana, commonly called as man or buddhi, depending upon the function that it is doing. If it is doing sankalpa vikalpa kind of a function, it is called mind. If it is doing deterministic attitude, it is called nishchayatmaka vritti buddhi. It is called buddhi. So far, easy to understand. So, technically, if we want to define the jiva in a crude language, consciousness plus matter is a jiva. Easy to understand. A little technical or shastriya paribhasha, buddhi, because sharir now is essentially a buddhi. So, buddhi, reflection of consciousness into the buddhi called chit abhas or chidabhas, and the kutastha, whose reflection is there, three together are called jiva. Shastriya Paribhasha says buddhi sthita chit pratibimba called chidabhas, and chit itself in the form of kutastha, three together form jiva. So if the jiva has to be there into this prapancha or samsara or the universe, everything and anything born in this universe is bound to have these three components or constituents together. One, nothing will exist without consciousness. Two, consciousness will give its reflection into the jiva's superiormost part called antakarana or buddhi. So, kutastha prakash reflected into the transparent buddhi and buddhi itself, together they form the jiva. This is the Shastriya Paribhasha of jiva. Now, the biggest issue that comes is the one which is going to come now. Now, we are slowly moving towards the difficult part of it. Jivo Brahma na paraha. We have already by hearted it. Brahmam Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahma na paraha. By heart, everybody knows it. Why this statement has been given so much importance? That is what we are trying to see now. Jiva and Brahma, according to Shankaracharya, is one. Jivo Brahma na paraha. Why it is one? Because Jiva is suffering. Jiva has got pain, he's got misery, has got multiple births, birth and death cycle it is subjected to. While the Parabrahma has nothing to do with this dukkha, sukha, punarjanma, nothing is there for that. And how come then Jiva Brahma na paraha? If Ishwara or Parabrahma is like me, then I die. Ishwar also should die. Sometimes I'm happy, most of the times I'm sorrowful. Ishwar also should have the same thing. Because you said Jivo Brahma na paraha. So, what is the relationship between the Jiva or the embodied soul and the Parabrahma or the ultimate consciousness is $1 million question, philosophical mystery tried by many stalwart rishis to sort it out. Today we are going to be into it to see what could be the reason, what could be the situation, and what is how it is going to help us in our sadhana, and how it is going to help us in understanding this adhikaranam. If we say jiva is a separate thing, Parabrahma is a separate thing, jiva and Brahma, they are not same. And that is what appears because jiva is suffering, jiva has so many vikaras, Jiva has got so many bhed. I am not same as Himanshu ji or Pradeep ji or Manish ji. He is different, I am different, so we have bhed. Swagata bhed, sajatiya bhed, vijatiya bhed. I am here today talking about Brahma Sutra. After 30 years, Dr. Jadhav will not exist. That means I am also having Kala Bheda. He was then there, he is not there now. There is a Kala Bheda. I am sitting here in Dubai and speaking, so I am not in India. That means there is a Sthala Bheda, Desha Bheda. So if these Bhedas are there, Vikaras are there, how can Jiva be same as Brahma? How come Shankaracharya is trying to say Jivo Brahmena Paraha? He has to explain or we have to explain. And is it really so? One. Second is, do all the Rishis agree with Shankaracharya? We have been taught Advaita and we have been taught that Advaita is the ultimate philosophy. No need to really believe in that way. We accepted one of the Pantha, fine. It is like I am a Bhakti Margi, okay. That doesn't mean Jnana Marga doesn't exist, because the Rishis who gave credence to other theories were equally powerful, equally at the higher state, equally realized soul. And that is why there are diversion of opinion about relationship between Jiva and Parabrahma. There is a stalwart, realized great Rishi, Madhvacharya. He said that there is no way Jiva can be same as Brahma. Jiva is completely different than Brahma. Completely means completely. Like light and darkness, they're completely different. Jiva is Simita, limited, Vikaravasha. Parabrahma or Paramatma has nothing of this kind. How can they two be one? They are different, definitely separate. So that is called Bhedavad. There is a Bheda. Shankaracharya's standing is Abhedavad. And what kind of Abhedavad? There is also a subtype into it. Shankaracharya, when he says Jivo Brahma Naparaha, he is not referring to the Jiva the way I defined it. What he says is, take the Upadhi out of the Jiva, take the Antakarana out of the Jiva. Buddhi is anyway Jada. So suppose Buddhi is not existing, what remains? Chidabhasa. But when Buddhi is not there, Chidabhas also cannot be there, because in what it the Kutastha will be reflected. When the mirror is not there, image is also gone. What will remain is only Kutastha will remain. Kutastha is nothing else but consciousness. So Kutastha and the Parabrahma, they are one. So when he says Jivo Brahma Naparaha, he is referring to Anopadhika Jiva is nothing else but Parabrahma. We have accepted that, but there are serious limitations. If somebody studies Sri Bhashyam of Ramanujacharya, he is and others also, they have created like Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimbarkacharya, Vallabhacharya. They have objected to Shankaracharya at the fundamental level, and the objections are certainly tenable. What is the objection? They say, Jivo Brahmena Paraha, all right, Kutastha and you are one. The question is, all this Srushti that is made, it is only come from where? Brahmadyasya yataha. Everything has come from Brahma. So, good, bad, ugly, this, everything is Brahma. You want to just extricate the Kutastha and want to say that it is one with Parabrahma. What about rest of the paraphernalia? Shankaracharya came with an answer that the rest of the paraphernalia is not existing only, it is just an appearance. He has to come out with another theory saying that There is a Jada, this Srushti, this Vishwa, this universe. It is not existing. You feel it is existing because of Upadhi. Moment you become one with Parabrahma, Srushti is gone. It's not existing at all. That's why it is an appearance. Why bother about the reality of appearance? So, according to Shankara, Srushti, Dukkham, Sukham, everything is appearance. No, but it does appear and it actually appears to be true. He says, yes, I agree with you. That is because of Maya. It is the Maya that is making this. Now, the objection, people who are objecting, Rishis, they are saying that, hold on. Even if we agree, now you came out with the third entity called Maya. There was Jiva, there was Ishwar or Paramatma or Parabrahma. Now Maya also came in between. From where this Maya came? No, this Maya is there till the time Srushti is there. That's all right. But from where did the Maya came? Oh, Maya came because she is adhyastha on Parabrahma only. Oh, now the question is, you are trying to explain Maya came, created Mayavi Srushti. Because there is Mayavi Srushti, there is Mayavi Parameshwar, and because Mayavi Parameshwar, Mayavi Srushti, and Mayavi Jiva, all this is Maya, illusion, and that all disappears moment Kutastha becomes one with Parabrahma. Shankaracharya is also not going to listen because he is going to come out with finer arguments. So the essential fundamental question whether Jiva and Shiva or Parabrahma are they one, are they separate, or they are one and separate at the same time? This is the crux of discussion in this particular Rucha. Bheda, Abheda, Bheda, Bheda. Very fundamental discussion, philosophical discussion, metaphysical discussion in this particular Rucha. Are they one? Are they separate? Or are they separate as well as one? Ramanujacharya said they are separate. They are not one and the same. Jiva Brahma is not one and the same. Ramanujacharya said that. But the Jiva and Ishvara, it is like an association of a body and the part. Can you say finger is separate than the body? No. But finger is a definitely different thing. Finger is not the body. Finger is anga, angi, sambandha, part of the body. Is not the water drop a part of the ocean? Yes. But is water drop an ocean? No. That means it is separate, at the same time it is same. So actually it is one, but with a special relationship. It is called Vishishta Advaita. Not Kevala Advaita, no. According to Shankaracharya, Kevala, there is no difference. Jivo Brahma na paraha. Ramanujacharya, no. Jivo Brahma paraha Vishishtatvena. There is no way Jiva can be Parabrahma. They are completely separate. There is an authentic Bhed. Dvaita. Madhvacharya. This Bhed, Abhed, one Rishi came out, Nimbarkacharya, and he said, hold on. Jiva and Ishvara. Jiva and Parabrahma, they are not same, but they become same. Third variant. Jiva Brahma, Paraha, na Paraha, Para Apara. How come? This is a relationship between the Jiva and the Parabrahma that exists as a separate till the time you become one with Him. And when you are one with Him, you are not two. When you are not one with Him, you are two. The question is logically, Nyaya people, logic, Tarka people, they ask, that, how do you say that something? It is like saying there is light and there is no light. There has to be either light or darkness. How can you say light and darkness both are there? And then the question, explanation that Nimbarkacharya came out with, which was subsequently followed by the Vaishnava Parampara, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, including Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we cannot say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an ordinary person. No, they were rishis or realized souls of highest order. He said, this particular Bheda and Abheda both are existing in Jiva and Brahma, and it cannot be thought by thought process. You cannot think because your thinking is limited by either yes or no. This is a point of deep ponderance. In our daily transactional world, Vyavaharika Vishwa, we are always, the buddhi is structured to think in terms of presence or absence. Think about this. Sunlight is there, sunlight is not there. And when sunlight is going towards the darkness, Sandhikala is there. But never ever it happens that two things. That's why we always say Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham. He's Atita, beyond Dvandva. But we are in Dvandva. Dvandva means true or false, Sukham or Dukkham. But two things are there always. You can't be tall and short at the same time. Why? We are not structured to think on those lines. But why do we think that this is the only way to think? A fish swims in the water, stays in the water, dies in the water. Everybody knows this. But a fish that is flying in the air, we can think about it. Why? Because something else like bird flies in the. So we take birds flying, impose it on fish, and we can imagine that way. It is not happening, but we can imagine. That means our imagination, which itself is thinking, is structured in a certain manner beyond which we cannot think. So then how it is possible for us to know that Jiva and Brahma is separate as well as same and anakalaniya? Even Shankaracharya has told about the world transactional sat asat vilakshan. He says it is true, the world is true, the world is untrue, and it is true and untrue at the same time, so it is vilakshan. He has used the word satasat vilakshan, sat asat vilakshan about the Vyavaharik Vishwa. On the same lines, Nimbarkacharya, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they said this is achintya bheda bhed, achintya, unthinkable, bhed and abhed. The relationship of Jiva with the Parabrahma is separate, not separate, and separate, non separate. Both are true, but cannot be understood because it cannot be thought. Achintya, it cannot be thought. If it cannot be thought, then how it is true? And their argument is get above the thinking. Your thinking is within space and time. You cannot think beyond space and time because thinking itself is a byproduct of space and time. Think about this. Can I think which is not within the space and time? I cannot. Try it. No, but I can imagine a huge Akash Ganga or the galaxy hitting another galaxy. You can imagine, fine. You can imagine 1 million degree temperature. You can imagine. Yeah, why? Because you've seen 100-degree temperature. You can extrapolate 100 into 1 million, fine. But to extrapolate, because imagination is extrapolation of thoughts. So the seed of imagination is something that you have experienced. What has not been experienced cannot be imagined. Although I am flying in the air is an imagination. But the seed of thought behind that is there is something that flies, which is either bird or the aeroplane. Where there is absolutely no trace of anything that your indriyas have ever experienced, that cannot be imagined. And this particular ultimate consciousness is said to be something which is beyond the indriyas. That means beyond indriyas is beyond the experience. If it is beyond the experience, then it cannot be imagined. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Today, out of Shraddha, we are believing that in Samadhi Avastha, Parabrahma Darshanam happens to the saintly people. Tukaram Maharaj, Jnaneshwar Maharaj, Namdev Maharaj, Gurudev, everybody had the Atma Darshanam. What was it like? It cannot be talked about. Achintya, unthinkable. Why? Within the thinking, it cannot come. It is beyond thinking. But why should we think that that which cannot be thought or that which is beyond thinking doesn't exist? Our own definition of existence is conditioned by thinking. That which I cannot think doesn't exist is our conditioning. This conditioning itself needs to be destroyed, and that is when achintya bheda bhed comes into the picture. The biggest question now is which one amongst these are true? Because those who spoke about it are definitely the people who have reached the height of highest consciousness. We cannot say Ramanujacharya was an ordinary person. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not an ordinary person. Shankaracharya was not an ordinary person. Audulumi was not an ordinary person. Kashakutsne was not an ordinary person. Ashmakacharya was not an ordinary person. Patanjali Maharaj was not an ordinary person. Then why are they differing? And how the difference is to be reconciled? And the answer to that is imagine a person who is a child. Imagine a child of about 5 years, and he is trying to understand the cantilever operations of engineering. Now, somebody who knows how the cantilever operation works, what is the principle, how does it work, he has understood it because he grew in age and he understood it. Now he is trying to explain it to the child. How will the explanation go? All the engineers who understood the cantilever principle correctly, each of them will be describing it to the child in their own way, not because the principle realized is different or the understanding is different. The way of expression to this particular child may vary. Avastha Trayatit, that avastha called Turyavastha is same for all. Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gurudev, everybody. That's why Gurudev gave $1 million statement that realization is a subjective experience. We do not understand one very important and essential thing about the realized people. And what is that? We have seen Gurudev amongst us. He was a realized soul. Dhaneshwar Maharaj was a realized soul. He was amongst the people. People could not understand what situation Dhaneshwar Maharaj in. Because for us, we saw a walking human being, we revered him, we touched his feet, we called him Gurudeva. But what state Gurudeva was in was beyond our understanding, thought process, or comprehension. A saintly person cannot be adjudged, understood by anyone else other than the one who is same as Gurudev, same as the Gnaneshwar Maharaj. We know a expert jeweler knows how to see a diamond. All people other than him, including his assistant, can understand the diamond, but not exactly what the diamond is, like the way the expert jeweler knows. Similarly, as Vivekananda has beautifully put it at one place, who are, because somebody asked him about Christ, is it how can he do that, and Prophet Muhammad, how can, so he said that who are you to judge? To judge the people of the prophet level, to judge the people of saintly level, you need to be in the same framework. And that same frame of mind cannot be the, because they are beyond mind. So that particular frame is called avastha. And since that avastha cannot be described, it is described by negation of the three avastha. It is why it is called fourth. There is no name for it. It's called fourth. Turiya avastha. Turiya. What is Turiya avastha? That which is not one, two, three. Jagruta, Sushupti, and Swapna. When these three are not there, whatever is there is that called avastha, Turiya avastha. Why? There is no definition also. How can you define something which is not within your purview? It is not a thing thinkable. That which is beyond thoughts cannot be thought. But for sadhana, we need that. And that being the reason, Jivo Brahma na paraha, that being the reason, and all this, why this exercise is being done by the rishis, that whether the jiva is same as Brahma or there is a bhed, because it has a bearing on the sadhana. No, but I am doing puja every day. I am doing upasana. I am trying to be good man in the world. No, 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 no. This upasana, this sadhana that we are talking is the ultimate sadhana. This is not a sadhana for chitta shuddhi or vikshepa. That's already gone. Sadhana chatushta sampannata has already come. The discussion is happening for the final adhikari, ucha adhikari, uttam adhikari it is called. And what is the sadhana that is told for the adhikari? See, this is where the confusion comes. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. This is not meant for the stage 1, stage 2 person. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam is a highest sadhana. That puts us back into analysis of what the sadhana is and how it is related to this particular Bheda, Abheda, Achintya Bheda, Bheda, etc. So, about sadhana, we should have absolute clarity in mind. How to do sadhana, why to do sadhana, and which sadhana at which level. The first is called Bahiranga sadhana. Bahiranga, it is always outside. You are not sitting at one place closing your eyes. No. Bahiranga sadhana has to be done outside. And what is the, it is distantly related to Jnana Prapti. It is not closer to Jnana Prapti. It is distantly, that's why it is called Bahiranga, external. And it gives only two phalam. One Chitta Shuddhi and second Chitta Ekagrata. Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata, which by itself is a very difficult exercise, is considered Bahiranga Sadhana. I am having Chitta Shuddhi, I am able to do concentration. Now you have just qualified for Antaranga Sadhana. That sadhana is again further beyond that. So Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata is the Bahiranga Sadhana. How do you do Chitta Shuddhi? Veda Vihita Nishkama Karma leads to Chitta Shuddhi. One line answer. Veda Vihita. But what is Veda Vihita means how Vedo Nitya Adhiyatam. Shankaracharya said, read every day Veda. Why read every day? To know what you should be doing in this world. We act impulsively, getting up, getting into politics, thinking about this, what is happening in the movies, what happened to the Pakistan India cricket match. This is not what we are born for. No, but it is giving pleasure. No, what is the harm? I'm not harming anybody. I'm just watching a cricket match. It's a wastage of time. Why? Because that's not what the purpose of birth, the purpose of human life, Naradeha, is for something else. You're basically born for something else. You're doing something else is a different thing. Now, whether what you're doing is giving you pleasure or not, it really doesn't matter. No, but I did my engineering and medical. That's because your society decided that you should be having some profession. Your profession is only one, Atmadnyan. No, whether you do that by swimming in the water, working as a doctor, or begging on the street, doesn't matter. Vyavaharika Vishwa should be given only that much importance. Unfortunately, it has taken the complete center stage, but that's not what is expected. So, Veda Vihita Nishkama Karma leads to Chitta Shuddhi, and Veda Vihita Nishkama Upasana leads to Chitta Ekagrata Vikshepa Dosha Nivrutti. Veda Vihita Nishkama Karma, interaction with the outside world. Veda Vihita Nishkama Upasana, with yourself inside, which is by closing your eyes. After these two are done, it's not that automatically after doing Ekagrata and having Chitta Shuddhi, you had Parabrahma Jnana. No. Further to that, then comes what is called as Antaranga Sadhana. Antaranga Sadhana works on two planes. Pratala ek, Prathama Pratala, Vivek Vairagya Shamadamadi Shataka Mumukshata helps in Shravanam. Mind well, Shravan Manan Nididhyasan is yet to come. You can see how much inside this is. Although every day we talk about, we think what we are listening just now is Shravana. No, Shravan has a different meaning in Adhyatma. So, Bahiranga Sadhana, we saw Chitta Shuddhi and Ekagrata, Veda Vihita Nishkama Karma, Veda Vihita Nishkama Upasana. That is Bahiranga Sadhana. Then Antaranga Sadhana, Prathama, Vivek Vairagya Shamadamadi Shataka Mumukshata Yuktata, which helps in Shravanam. And then on Pratala Dvitiya, there is Sakshat Jnanotpatti or Brahma Atmaikya Jnana. That Pratala Dvitiya is comprising of what is called as Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. So, what is done by an adhikari after Chitta Shuddhi, after Vikshepa Varjana, after Shamadamadi Sadhana Chatushtata Sampannata, then you become eligible for listening, Shravana, because that listening is not ordinary listening like what we are doing currently. Because now the words that are going to come, those words, when they fall on the ear, they are going to channelize directly the experience. Tattva-masyadi lakshanam. Tattvam asi. Mahavakya. We have heard it and said it 1,000 times. Doesn't make any difference to us. But Sri Guru Mukha, if it says that particular statement in the ears of the disciple, after he has become Uttama Adhikari, instantly, this is exactly what is called as Ati Antaranga Sadhana or Antaranga Sadhana, which was done by Gurudeva in the help of with the help of Tapovan Maharaj. Nobody knows what exactly happened because neither Gurudev has written about it. Tapovan Maharaj never spoke about it. But when they were together, Guru knew what the Shishya's tayari or preparation is, and then in that period, final instructions were given, which were heard by Gurudeva because Guru Mukha spoke about it. He heard it, and that hearing itself impacted him because he was at the peak of sadhana leading to Atmadhnanam. That is why Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam are considered to be Antaranga sadhana. Coming to Shravanam, of first of all, for Aham Brahmasmi experience, Shravan is Sakshat Sadhana. Sakshat, because Mahavakya on the ear and Mahavakya alone making you Parabrahma, Brahmi Bhuta. In case while this particular Shravanam is going on and still the Samshaya is remaining, Samshaya means currently our situation is we all know that we are all Brahma. But right at the heart of heart, we know that no, I am Dr. So and so. Why? We just say by mouth that we are a Brahma, but actually we have no idea, no feeling, no experience of being Brahma. Even this particular sadhaka, at the height of his after sadhan chatushtata, when he's doing Shravanam, there will be sometimes he will feel he's para Brahma, he might experience it again, come out of it. This can happen. That is called going in and coming out because of Samshaya. So, in order to have the Samshaya Nivrutti after Shravana, Mananam is the sadhana. Think till it gets converted into conviction. No Samshaya at all. So, Shravanam, when it is not able to put you into the Parabrahma Sthiti for a longer period, you do what is called as Mananam. And even after Madanam, if there is still Bheda Bhranti meaning I am a body, sometimes I am a Parabrahma, if it is still Bheda Bhranti, then you do what is called as Nididhyasanam. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, done as Antaranga Sadhana after the Bahiranga Sadhana, which is supposed to create the Chitta Shuddhi by Veda Vihita Nishkama Karma, as well as which is supposed to do Vikshepa Varjanam, Vikshepa Dosha Haranam with the help of Nishkama, Veda Vihita Nishkama Upasana. So first Chitta Shuddhi, then Vikshepa Varjanam, then Sadhana Chatushtata Sampannata, then Shravanam, Shravanam creating Samshaya in the mind about the Brahma Swarupa, Mananam, Mananam also not creating complete eradication of Sharirastha Buddhi or Sharira Tadatmya. Then for the final Bheda Bhranti, you do what is called as Nididhyasana. And Nididhyasana means because the sadhaka or the yogi or the Satpurusha has a powerful command and control on thinking and concentration, he holds on to the thought that I am Parabrahma. It is very easy to say that. Imagine you thinking about that thing which you have not ever experienced. It is not an easy task. Right now, we do not know how the earth is working, how galaxies are working, but the yogi has already transcended all this. He knows Arunachalam was a mountain for, even today, it is a mountain for all of us. It was only Ramana Maharshi who saw Bhagavan into it. How can mountain be a Bhagavan or Parabrahma? By having that particular entity as Arohana Sadhana. By focusing on that, he went up, 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 upwards in the higher planes of consciousness so that you reach a place where there is nothing to hold. Ekagrata on what? Ekagrata on Nirguna. Ekagrata on not even void. Akhand Brahmakara Vritti. But Brahma itself is not yet known. So it is not a exercise of an ordinary mind. It is an exercise of highly evolved buddhi, which has pragalbhata of holding something like this. And at that point of time, when that final connect is trying to be made, where the awareness about oneself, awareness about I am the body is into the thinnest possible layer, about to dissolve, that is the time then Purna Bheda Brahma Nivrutti happens. In other words, the sadhaka or the yogi completely dissolves the upadhi. Now the buddhi is no more functioning. With the help of buddhi only he reached there. But the staircase that he used to go upwards, now he is going to hold the staircase and throw it away. That is why it is slow disappearance of antakarana. The antakarana is slowly thinning out. The antakarana thinning out means buddhi not functioning. Buddhi not functioning means vicharas are going to be no more there. Vicharas are not there, that means the vrittis are not happening. When the vritti doesn't happen, then without vritti, antakaran cannot exist. So all the vrittis are gone. Vrittis that could be arisen because of memory or smriti, samskara, object, subject, everything is gone. And that's when the last dwindling point of the buddhi is over. There is complete vacancy because the antakaran is dead. What is left is the mirror itself is broken to complete pieces or the powder. Since the mirror is or the crystal is not there, the reflection is gone. The Chidabhasa is returning back into the Kutastha, and movement is goes to the Kutastha. The Chidabhas itself realizes that, oh, I was the reflection of nothing else but the Parama Jyoti. That itself is mingling one with the ultimate Parabrahma. That being the process, Nididhyasana gives the final push. And that is why in this final stage of final push, what is called as ati antaranga sadhana tattvam padartha shodhana happens. Tattvam, tattvam asi, but tattvam, tat and tvam, they become one at this stage. Because these three words are used in the Rucha in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, आत्मा वा अरे श्रोतव्य मंतव्य निधिध्यासत्व. That is the background behind this particular Rucha, what Yajnavalkya Maharaj was telling to Maitreyi. But Maitreyi was not like you and me. She was an enlightened woman who had already done sadhana chatushtata, both of them, Katyayani as well as Maitreyi. That is why, with that one Rucha, she understood what Maharaj is, Yajnavalkya Maharaj, my Pati Deva, my Bhagavan is saying, and then she used it for her sadhana. But a common man and an ordinary intellect says that, oh, listening, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, that means that is the part of the mind. That means we are supposed to worship our mind. So there is some Samshaya there. For that Purvapaksa Samshaya Nivrutti, this particular Adhikaranam is there. That is the backdrop of this Rucha, the Adhikaranam, the importance of Shravanam, etc. And also a little bit glimpse about what is this Jivo Brahmaya Naparaha, Bheda Abheda Achintya Bheda Bhedavad. Remaining part of these Ruchas, three mantras, is just the paraphernalia which we shall be seeing into the next session. Hari Om. Om Purnamada Purnam Nidam Purnat Purnam Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Om Sanjay, from the discourse of today, I feel that we have to travel a lot. It is not near, very close, because Maitreyi herself was almost enlightened lady, and it was this advice was given to such a lady. So she was the real adhikari for that. As far as we are concerned, and we have to go miles and miles. Anyway, that is okay, but we are on the path. Here in today's discourse, I have one knowledge that you gave me is Pati and Patni. Padi and Patni, Atma Swarupa, Atma Prema. Actually, the basic of the wife and husband relationship is Atma Swarupa. That is, those who are divorcing, I feel that they don't understand this, never, even a bit. Even if they knew that this is this is the secret, they would then they will never divorce. Anyway, Atma Swarupa Prema, Atma Prema. And now another thing, that Vedo Nityamadiyadam Tadudidam Karma Swa Anushtiyadam. That advice, no, we all believe this blindly because it has come from Acharya Bhagavad Padar, who is a realized guy, and he is in the top of our respect and our reverence. So I don't want to question him and his knowledge and all. So we believe this. It is true that Acharya Bhagavad Padar said. But only thing is that we as grahasthas, uh, we have these limitations. When we, quite often I used to feel that this life is, this way it will not going to, I will not be able to realize. I will have to leave this my house and all. So that is a limitation. How I will, abdicate my wife. So it is not practical in this Janma. Uh, then I am staying back. So up to that I have gone, because from Upanishads only this knowledge came to me. Then that very realistic things came into the mind, and I gave up that idea. But whatever I had in my mind while going through the Upanishads was right. And today's discourse is proving that this Vakyanaya Adhikaranam and Vichara Andolanam and all this Vichara Andolanam is taking place every time. Every time it is taking place here. And there is no moment actually when we don't think about Upanishads lessons or the teachings of Upanishads. You go to the market, ask for the some vegetable items and all. Then in between this comes, somehow this comes, Brahadaranyakam, all those the Upanishads. That is because of our daily, whatever is their small sadhanas are, because of that this much happens. So that way, I am, people like me are, I'm grateful about our studies. Now, there is no question today because the question doesn't arise. These questions are there, but that is all silly questions because this Vakyanaya Adhikaranam has been revealed in such a way that there should not be any doubt, and we are going from Vedo Vihida Nitya Sadhana and Vedo Vihida Nitya Upasana. That much is very clear. This is what I want to tell about today's session. When we go further, and we will have more. Thank you. Thank you very much. Other sadhakas, please.
Hariom, Dr. Sanjay ji.
Are you?
In this particular discussion today about like Atmavare, Shatayo, Mantavya, Nididasya, before that, I think that word is coming as Atmavare, Drashtavya, Shotavya, and Nididasya. So, how we can take that Drashtavya as a meaning?
Drushtavya is referred to for the Sakshat Darshanam. Now, Drashtavya normally means seeing, and seeing is an act of jiva. That's why the Puropaksha is creating an objection that if you're talking about seeing, then seeing is nothing else but bhoktrutvata, and bhoktrutvata is regarding the jiva. So the sadhana that is told by Yajnavalkya is regarding the jiva, not regarding the Paramatman. That is the Samshaya. Drashtavyo is the way it is used or way it is indicated by Yajnavalkya Maharaj is because it is Sakshat Darshanam. Now, what is Sakshat Darshanam? For us, we know that eyes only can see. The question is the plane on which, the pratal on which the ultimate Chidabhasa is going to have the darshanam of Kutastha is what is referred here. Now imagine reflection or sun rays looking at sun. Now the question is, can sun ray look at the sun? Is it possible? Or can the reflection look at the original person? Is it possible? But what happens is the reflection or the sun rays so far have been working in this world as independent entity. That is what is called as ego. But when the ego is completely gone, the buddhi doesn't have any function or role to play. When the mirror is not going to project any image, then the image has to disappear. Disappear where? Sun rays have to disappear. Disappear where? In the sun. So what happens is, on one point of time, you are feeling that you are separate or you are jiva, and the very next moment your jiva-ness is gone. Your existence is over. You're one with the Kutastha, and Kutastha itself is Paramatma, so you become Parabrahma Purva or Brahmi Bhuta. You become Brahmi Bhuta. But that happens at such a speed. Nobody can say when, how, where. No. It all knows is, like Gurudeva said, I was pushed beyond. Beyond means where you cannot say that. But there definitely appears one moment where this side goes out, that side comes up. That particular moment is called Sakshat Darshanam. And from that Sakshat Darshanam, it is also called as Yogaja Pratyaksha in the Nyaya Tattva Jnana. So that particular thing, that seeing is referred here as Drashtavyo, not as the Puropaksha is talking about seeing with the eyes. Hariyo.
Hariom.
Just wanted to, the very important takeaway from today's discourse is, I think, the relationship between husband and wife, which transcends beyond body, beyond mind, beyond buddhi, beyond
Yes.
chitta. It goes to the atma level. That's what the takeaway from today. But the fact remains that why do the husband and wife sometimes separate, like Mr. Rajendran said, people divorce. Why do they do? To the best of my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The relationship that two people, two atmas or two bodies have, something to do with the karma that they do, and the karma creates what is called as runanubandha. And the two souls come together, two bodies come together, the relationship takes place. Moment that runanubandha gets over, the bodies, the souls, they separate. That's what my understanding is. But if the relationship it is a Atma Swarup level or Atma level, uh, do they separate even after physically they separate?
No, when what happens is when there is a separation, not only between pati and patni, any two things, even feeling that me and my table is separate than me and my mobile is separate than me, it itself indicates that the relationship is existing at anatma level. At anatmata, differentiation or dvaita is bound to be there. At Atman level, there is no question of Dvaitva because the other person, if I come to know he is Brahma Swarupa, I am Brahma Swarupa. In fact, everything is seen like Brahma only. So even if you think, first of all, you don't think in that stage. What you feel is everything, Bharla Ghanadata Hari Dise. Tukaram Maharaj says, I can't see anything other than Hari. So that is why even Ishavasya Upanishad says, Yastu Sarvani Bhutani Atman Eva Anupashyati. Tatra ko moha. The reason being, Atman to Atman. This kind of relationship happens when Namdev Maharaj met Jnaneshwar Maharaj. There was no question of he is younger, I am older, I am. No, two Atmas were coming together. When Sant Mirabai met Gosaviji, Gosai of those times, that time they don't meet as a lady and as a man. Two Atma Swarupas are coming together. So there is virtually why? There is no differentiation. For being the Vyavaharika Sakta, there is an Anubadita Vritti. That's why they don't touch each other or they respect a lady as a lady. But even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even could not do that. He simply went to a lady unknown to him who was carrying, fetching the bucket of water. He went and just hugged her, saying that Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And of course, that led to a lot of issues in the Vyavaharik Vishwa, but they are at a level where they don't see. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to see Kali Mata everywhere. In the cat, in the cat also he was saying Kali Mata. That is called Atma Swarupa Darshanam. Upadhi is not seen. You are not seen as a man. You are seen as an Atma Swarupa because Upadhis are not seen at all. But to that level, and such two people, if they have become Pati Patni, that is the highest pairing that can happen ever. But at the lowermost level where we are, because of our Purva Karma, because of enrooted in Dvaita, we are bound to say, now how much you will do the prem and how much you will do the quarrel depends upon which guna is predominant. If you are a Tamoguni married to another Tamoguni, what else will happen there? If you are Rajoguni, she is Rajoguni, you will keep gallivanting in this world. But if you are Sattvaguni like Yajnavalkya and Maitri, then what will happen? Both of them will come together and study Upanishad. Are you?
Then once this Jivatma, one Jivatma and another Jivatma is merged, and there is no question away, a question of both of them getting away. Then once it is merged, that's it. And
That is the reason why the Shishya and the Guru. Have you ever seen Guru Deva talking anything about his Guru other than maybe one or two lines? When everybody cried, Tapovan Maharaj passed away, apart one drop of tear, there was nothing in Guru Deva because he knew there is no Guru Deva now. There is no Guru Dev, there is no Shishya. We both are one. It
yeah,
was just that he left his body, my body is still with me, but we are same. There is nothing like Gurudeva was different and I am different because there is no difference left whatsoever. Forget about Guru Shishya. For Gurudeva, everything in the world itself was one. That is called Atma Jnana. Hariyu.
that our Ishavasyam is reiterating this. Yatra,
Absolutely.
isn't it? When you quoted
Absolutely.
that clear drought is gone.
Yes.
Tatra ko mohaga, yes.
Tashoka.
Okay. Thank you, Sanjay ji. Thank you very much.